What if a school field trip meant to teach students about social justice ended up putting a California school district in federal court over religion? That is exactly what is happening in Palo Alto, where a group of Jewish, Hindu and Zoroastrian parents and students says a trip to a mosque crossed a constitutional line. And the details of what students allegedly experienced are now raising a much bigger question. Where does teaching about religion end, and religious participation begin? The lawsuit was filed August 7 in federal court against Palo Alto Unified School District and Palo Alto High School principal Brent Klein. At the center of the case is a fall 2025 field trip connected to Palo Alto High's Social Justice Pathway, a program that uses social justice themes across its coursework. According to the complaint, students visiting the Muslim Community Association's mosque in Santa Clara observed Dhuhr prayer, interacted with participants in a Quran memorization program, and discussed the meaning of worship. But here's where the controversy gets much more serious. The parents allege that students were provided Muslim religious attire and encouraged to wear it, including hijabs for female students. They also allege that students received Qurans to take home and that the trip presented Islam, specifically, as closely connected to social justice. Those are allegations in a lawsuit, not findings by a judge, and that distinction is important because the case is still at a very early stage. Parents say their concern isn't simply that teenagers learned about Islam. In fact, that's a key point in their argument. They contend a public school can teach students about religions, cultures, and beliefs, but shouldn't cross into encouraging students to participate in religious practices or creating the impression that the government favors one faith over another. Their attorney, David Rosenberg-Wall, has framed the case as an issue of religious neutrality rather than a fight between different religions. And there is another issue buried inside this lawsuit: student privacy. The complaint alleges students were photographed at the mosque, including while wearing religious attire, and that images were later made public without specific parental authorization. According to Religion News Service, some of those images were removed after the lawsuit was filed. So the legal dispute isn't limited to what students were taught or encouraged to do. It also raises questions about how minors can be photographed and publicly associated with a particular religious setting during a school-sponsored activity. Then there's the appearance of Zahra Billu, a civil rights attorney and executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations San Francisco Bay Area office. The lawsuit criticizes her participation and points to past statements that have drawn accusations of anti-Semitism. Billu has rejected the broader characterization of the visit, arguing that learning directly about Muslim communities can be part of legitimate public education and that religious neutrality doesn't mean keeping students away from religion altogether. That distinction is also where students themselves have pushed back against the lawsuit's narrative. The student newspaper, the Pali Voice, reported that students who attended viewed the mosque visit as part of a broader religion unit that covered traditions including Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Baha'i and Taoism. One student described the trip as an opportunity to learn about different forms of religion and prayer, while Editor-in-Chief Junie Thurston argued that claims of indoctrination left out important context. The Muslim Community Association has made a similar argument. Its representatives say the visit was intended to provide an educational opportunity and warn that treating ordinary exposure to Muslim faith and practice as inherently threatening could reinforce misunderstanding and Islamophobia. The mosque's communications director has also disputed the idea that students were coerced, saying students could choose whether to wear hijabs or take Qurans home. And then there's the school district itself. Superintendent Jason Glass has said the district is reviewing the allegations and has not publicly accepted the parents' version of events. But he has pointed to Palo Alto Unified's stated standard that instruction about religion must be academic rather than devotional, and that no faith should be promoted or denigrated. That statement could become extremely important as this case moves forward, because it goes directly to the central question the lawsuit is asking. The legal issue is not simply whether students can visit a mosque. Public schools are generally allowed to teach about religion as part of legitimate academic instruction. The harder question is whether the school's actions, taken as a whole, amounted to government endorsement or pressure to participate in religious activity. A First Amendment case like this will ultimately depend on the evidence, the context, and what students were actually required or encouraged to do, not simply on whether the field trip took place inside a mosque. For now, no court has ruled that Palo Alto Unified violated the Constitution, and the allegations remain contested. But the lawsuit has already opened a debate that reaches far beyond one California high school. How can public schools expose students to different faiths without appearing to promote one? And how much parental consent should be required when classroom learning starts to involve actual religious practices? Those questions are likely to matter well beyond Palo Alto, because in America's public schools, the line between understanding religion and participating in religion can carry enormous constitutional consequences. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.